Hazel, would you like to give us an update on the individuals?
Yeah, there's just one temperature outside of normal range, which is a low temperature. I've sent another email to them just to make sure that they are using the thermometer correctly and to recheck that. But he is the gentleman that can't regulate his own body temperature anyway, so not too concerned about that. The lady in hospital, they're treating with antibiotics at the moment, but I think they're not quite sure where the infection might be. The lady that come back out of hospital seems to be doing okay, no concerns there, and the other people that we've got that are high at risk all seem to be doing okay.
Just out of interest and of massive concern, obviously, and I'm not fully up to date on it, but I know Hugo is. There is this no resuscitate policy that appears to be rolling out in some places for people with learning disabilities, which I've got to say stinks of eugenics to me. But Hugo, can you just tell us about it?
Yeah, I saw this actually through Andrew, the CEO of Voyage. He had a load of his homes, I think, in Sussex, Somerset, and maybe Dorset, in Hampshire. They basically, the CCGs have basically, or the surgeries have gone and said, yeah, they're putting DNA PRs on some of their homes.
Yeah, we challenged that with the gentleman we had in hospital last week, because basically in A&E, the consultant made the decision to put a DNAR in place. I spoke with the learning disability liaison nurse, and we agreed that the proper process of best interest decision making hadn't been completed, and it was rescinded. So I'm very aware of that, and we will keep on top of that and make sure that any that are put in place are appropriate and the right people have been involved in that decision.
Yeah. Sorry, can you really police that, Hazel? Because that's going to become an issue, and there's, we know we've had a situation in the past up at the old vicarage many years ago. In fact, over 2 different individuals where they put "do not resuscitate" in place, and we challenged those at the time. And in both instances, the individuals recovered and have gone on to lead a very fulfilled life. So we don't want any of this, just automatically happening. Obviously, there will be appropriate ways in which it might be used, but there's absolutely no question that it should be used. And I think the minister actually was saying yesterday that I believe that because it was raised, that it shouldn't be happening in that way.
Well, whenever it happens, it needs to be a best interest decision, and a best interest decision needs to have the relevant stakeholders involved in that. So yeah, we will keep on top of that.
In this case, it was a blanket approach just to the whole home itself.
Yeah, that's never acceptable.
No.
Yeah, that is just outrageous. Yeah.
Paul, can we talk later and compose a tweet from you about that?
Yeah,
because Andrew Cannon's been quite vocal on social media about that.
Yeah, we should all support him on that. Yeah, it's just
okay.
I mean, that is really Victorian thinking. Yeah.
Hazel, we let the liaison nurse know that that individual is now in hospital.
Already done.
Brilliant. Thank you for that.
Okay. Just the only thing that I wanted to mention just about hospital, I was in the health and social care cell meeting yesterday again. So I raised again the issue about staff supporting within the hospital. Unfortunately, the minutes don't reflect what I actually said, because the minutes reflect that I was querying whether carers could visit people in hospital, and that's not what I was querying. I was querying the fact that if some people are swabbed and come back positive, that our staff aren't able to support within the hospital. And obviously that I was advocating that needs to be risk assessed on a case-by-case basis, because behavioural complexities, clinical complexities, that's not going to be good for ward staff or the individuals. So
you go back, you need to email them back then, and just email their circulation list and correct it. Yeah, whoever they circulate to, just go back and say this has not been correctly recorded. Yeah, I think it's a really important point.
Yeah.
And the trouble is they don't really get it, because they're very sort of elder care focused, and they don't really understand specialist support like us.
Yeah. And it does highlight that we are unusual in the fact that we do support in hospital. They're not used to that.
No.
Yeah,
well, that's a really good point. They wouldn't even get the point. So I think you must go back and correct that. Yeah.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah. Emma, would you like to talk about staff?
Yeah, so absences have dropped again. So we're clearly seeing the people that isolated 2 weeks ago, they're all coming back, but we're not having anyone else going off. So again, this morning, 5 days in a row, 0 absences for people who are not isolating. So it just shows that people are taking it seriously. The people who are isolating are following government guidelines and appropriately, and other types of absences are just not happening at the moment. So really positive.
That's just fantastic. 5 days in a row, 0 absences, you know, with a workforce of 400. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. And
Zoe, I thought we had one ring in yesterday.
We had a back injury, didn't we?
Overnight, we had healthcare.
That's
Childcare.
that was health. The ones I've seen are healthcare ones. So.
Good.
No, this is at Bardney, Zoe, wasn't it?
Yeah, night staff for childcare.
One off yesterday.
Was that yesterday? I missed that one.
Yeah.
I didn't see that before. Okay, I'll have a look.
It's still bloody good.
Yeah, fantastic. Just one, yeah. And that was the back injury.
There was childcare.
Oh, childcare.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough.
Okay. Mel, anything on the rota?
No, as you've heard from Emma, because we've got lots of people coming back. Yeah, all good for the weekend and for the following week. So yeah, all okay.
Good.
Okay. I think we touched on this yesterday, but we are resting up people who probably work long shifts.
Yeah, we have a pulse report that comes out ensuring that people are getting their days breaks and how many hours they're working. So we're following that. So yes, we are, Paul.
Yeah, I mean those are going to be the key guys when in 2 or 3 weeks' time when we really get hit.
Yeah, no, we are aware.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything anyone else wanted to raise today?
Could I very briefly mention about training, Joe? It will be brief.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Skills for Care finally released their relaxed, what do they call it? Relaxation of mandatory training guidelines. So it's just to confirm that the condensed 3-day induction that we have meets and exceeds all those requirements. It seems with everything else we were 2 weeks ahead, but we're hitting where we need to be.
That's really good.
We also delivered our first Teams training session yesterday on meds. So that went out to 2 people. So that's potentially a future thing as well. Something to bear in mind that's worked and proved successful.
Sam, if you speak to Dave Taylor, he's working some stuff out where you can almost do like a webinar sort of thing as well via Teams. He's creating he'll create a guide. Speak to him directly.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, just I'll just quickly. I know it's Saturday. I'll just quickly give you some good bit of news. It's through the portal, through the app, the Zone Standard app. We're able to now do video calls through the bottom right window. It's being tested, and I'm hopeful that sort of latter part of next week we can roll it in a small way within Home from Home. But also, it got me thinking about the individuals and families unable to actually, easily video into their kids. And so I think what we're trying to work out, the idea would be that the staff would have their own normal working tablet and they could then pass it to the individual via an individual portal. They would have their own portal, which would have potentially their own photos, which, of some activities and so on. And we would then give the parent their own portal as well, a parent portal where they could actually video in. So it's a completely secure link without having to go through Skype or all the things where it goes wrong. Yeah, I'm thinking Laura, my sister Laura, complete nightmare in terms of just giving her an open system. But if it's a closed system, which is very very prescriptive, where you can't dial out to any random person, then I think it's a goer. So but we'll be doing lots of testing next week, and hopefully sort of the week after next, it might be something that we can really trial.
Amazing.
That's really good. It's great.
I think parents would really appreciate that.
Yes, I know there was the query yesterday from a parent that was struggling with the change in routine, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be really good. Okay. Anything else for today?
Hugo, did you want to talk about that, the communication regarding that icon, or do you want to do that separately in terms of the way? You're muted, Hugo.
Should we do that afterwards?
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
And Emma, do you want to talk about the furlough aspects with our pregnant ladies, etc.?
I think, well, we can. I just wondered if it's worth us speaking a bit more in detail.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that later on if you want. That's no problem.
Just for background for everyone, we've got about 10 other people that fall into high risk categories, and it's what evidence do we need to furlough them if we're going to furlough them? I think that's where I'm going with that.
I've been speaking to a friend this morning who has got a friend working in the NHS who falls into what we would describe as our category 4, so I can share the thoughts on that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Fantastic.
Brilliant piece of work that, Emma and Mel. Saw that this morning. Well done. Going to stop sending emails at 5 in the morning, though, Emma.
Sorry, it was going through my mind a lot.
It's easier to put it down on paper then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Organisational awareness at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's great. Yeah. This is not 3 o'clock in the morning. That's for another day. Got all that to look forward to. Fantastic, everyone. You're just doing a fantastic job. Yeah. Sorry, over to you, Joe. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.